بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. So inshallah we are discussing here masla. The masla is المجاز خلف عن الحقيقة في اللفظ أو في الحكم. Now the asal is the haqiqah, and the majaz deputizes from the haqiqah. But how does it deputize? What is the method in which it deputizes? So is it a deputy in lafz or is it a deputy in hukm? And we'll explain this and via an example, inshallah. So let's just imagine a little story to help us understand. The story is a few people are living on Haqiqa island. They live on this country called Haqiqa. They want to move to Majaz. Now to move to Majaz, you must have two criteria. You must have, two criteria. So let's say, for example, one country to another country, they put in two criteria. Criteria number one is, you must have no criminal conviction, number one. Number two, you must be earning, or you must have X amount of money, you must be earning or have a job offer. So two criteria. So to move from this country to this country, there are two criteria. But the two ministers, two political parties, one of them said we only have one criteria. The first criteria is no crime record. So if you have no crime record, that country will, or that party or that government will allow you into the country. You can transfer from one country to another country. The other country says no, the two criteria: no prior criminal record, and number two is you also have to earn a certain amount of money. If both of those are found, then you'll be allowed to migrate to this country. Do you understand the example? So based on this, we say the similar thing occurs regarding haqiqa and majaz. To migrate from a haqiqa to a majaz, you must have one of two things. Number one is, you must have sihhatul lafz. This is the fundamental that everybody agrees upon. And the second criteria is sihhatul ma'na. So to get from here to there, you have to cross two bridges, two checkpoints, two criteria. How we want to understand this? Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullah alayhi. Okay, let's go on first. So what we say here, if we say here, let's say we have a word. This word is dhah bunayya. Now, dhah doesn't exist in the Arabic language. Bunaya doesn't exist in the Arabic language. So you say, I'm sorry, you cannot migrate from haqiqa to majaz because you do not pass the first criteria. Because the lafz, this wording, it's not an Arabic sentence. It makes no sense in Arabic. We don't know what the meaning of this is. It's incorrect. You following? So therefore, this word cannot move to majaz because you not pass the first criteria. Okay, another application form comes in. This application is hadha ibni. So can hadha ibni migrate from haqiqa to majaz? So the first criteria is pass. What's the first criteria? It makes sense. Hadha is mubtada, ibni is khabar. You have here mubtada'un and khabar. So you have mubtada and you have khabar, and both of these fulfill the job that you want to get done. The meaning is in place. The lafz is sahih. So those people who put one criteria say that you can take the majaz of this meaning. You can say, Hada ibni, this is my son, I am his father, and my blood son, haqiqa. And it can also have a majaz meaning, and they have various majaz meaning. Okay? The other people said, well, there's a criteria. Is Hada ibni even logical? Okay? So for example, what would they say here? Let's say, for example, you have a person. He says, is the person here, person number one, okay? He says, about this, he's pointing to this person, and he says here, he's saying, his quotation is what? Hadha ibni. This guy is my son. When you look at it, he was 25 years old, he was 50 years old. He was 40 years old, he was 50 years. So the first group will say, it's can be majaz. And hadha ibni can mean a majaz meaning, any majaz meaning, as long as the word hadha ibni is lughatan correct. The other group say, no, we have two criteria. The lafz has to be correct, and the lafz is correct. Hadha ibni makes sense. Mubtada, khabar, this is my son. But meaning is not correct. Because if you say to somebody who's older than you, he's my son, because the haqiqa is not possible, therefore you can't make it to majaz. You will not be allowed to have a majaz meaning of this. Because a 40-year-old man cannot be the father of somebody who's 50 years old. It's impossible aqlan. It doesn't make sense. So they will say this can't be taken as majaz. So can the word hadha ibni be a majaz? According to one group, if you only consider sihhatul lafz, it can be a majaz. The other group says you have to look at sihhatul lafz and sihhatul ma'na. If both of these are correct, then you can take the majaz. Understood? So now based on this, we have a masala. What does it say here? Al-majazu khalfun anil haqiqati fi haqqil lafzi inda Abi Hanifa. According to Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi alayhi, the majaz deputizes on behalf of the haqiqah in lafz only. As long as the lafz is correct, we can move to the majaz meaning. If the lafz is not, if the ma'na is correct or it makes sense, it doesn't matter to us. As long as the wording is correct, we can take the majaz meaning. وَإِنْدَهُمَا Imam Abu Hanifa, Imam Abu Yusuf rahmatullahi alayhi, and Imam Muhammad rahmatullahi alayhi, their opinion is that you can only take the majaz meaning as long as the lafz is correct and the ma'na is correct. وَإِنْدَهُمَا خَلْفٌ فِي حَقِّ الْحُكْمِ. The lafz has to be correct and the hukm has to make sense. The haqiqi hukm has to make sense. Then you can go to a majaz. What's the faida of this in fiqh? In fiqh, the faida is this. Well, in more detail. فَلَوْ كَانَتِ الْحَقِيقَةُ مُمْكِنَةً فِي نَفْسِهَا. If the haqiqah in itself is possible, yes, إِلَّا أَنَّهُمْ تَنَأَ لِمَانِئٍ يُصَارُ إِلَى الْمَجَازِ. So if the haqiqah is possible, it makes sense in ma'na, it's haqiqah, it can actually work out, it can exist in the real world. However, إِنَّهُ إِمْتَنَأَ لِمَانِئٍ, it is not possible to take that meaning because of a mani, something is prohibiting the literal meaning. يُصَارُ إِلَى الْمَجَازِ, the majaz can be taken. وَإِلَّا, if the haqiqah is not mumkin in itself, صَارَ الْكَلَامُ لَغْوًا إِنْدَهُمَا. Sahiban will say this kalam, it has no meaning, it is null and void, throw it in the bin. We want to put any hukm on this. Okay? وَإِنْدَهُ Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi alayhi, he says, يُصَارُ إِلَى الْمَجَازِ. You will go to the majaz, وَإِن لَمْ تَكُنِ الْحَقِيقَةُ مُمْكِنَةً فِي نَفْسِهَا. Even if the haqiqah is not possible in itself. As long as the lafz is sahih, you can go to the ma'na. Sorry, as long as the lafz is sahih, you can take the haqiqah to the majaz. The ma'na being haqiqah fi nafsiha is not a condition. Samara, what's the benefit? Why do we want to learn this masla? Where does the masla come about? Imagine this. إِذَا قَالَ الْمَوْلَى لِأَبْدِهِ. If a master was to say to his slave, وَهُوَ أَكْبَرُ سِنًّا, and the slave is actually older than him. So you have a master, he's 25 years old, and he inherited or he purchased an elder person as a slave. Yes, again, before emancipation and when this was prevalent. He said, هَذَا ibni. Now, because this person is older, it is not possible for him to be, the haqiqah is not mumkinatun fi nafsiha. So, Sahiban will say, لا يصار إلى المجاز. We will not revert to majaz. Majaz will not be taken, according to Sahiban. Why? لِاسْتِحَالَةِ الْحَقِيقَةِ. Because of the haqiqah being impossible. Istihala yastahilu istihalatan, being impossible. Because of the haqiqah being impossible, we cannot take the majaz. The majaz can only deputize if there are two conditions. Sihhatul lafz wa sihhatul ma'na. Both criteria are not found. Therefore, we do not go from haqiqah to majaz. Therefore, if a person says to his slave, هَذَا ابْنِي, this is lagwa. Because the haqiqah is not possible, so the majaz is not possible. وَإِنْدَهُ, according to Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi alayhi, the haqiqah is not possible, the lafz is sahih, yusaru ila al-majaz. We will take the majaz meaning. So in this case, فَيُعْتَقُ الْعَبْدُ. The abd will be what? The servant, the slave will become free, he will be emancipated. That's the meaning here. So in summary, Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi alayhi, he says that as long as the word is sahih grammatically from an Arabic perspective, we can move to the majaz. Sahiban say you can only move to the majaz if the haqiqah makes sense. Haqiqah is correct in loves, but along with this, ma'nan, in meaning wise, it actually makes sense. And it's logical. Then you can go to the majaz. So that will apply in this fiqh juz'iyah. هذا ابني. Because it's not possible rationally to have a son older than you, so the majaz meaning can't be taken. And Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi alayhi, his opinion is that, Imam Abu Hanifa's opinion is that because the lafz is sahih, هذا ibni is correct لغة من حيث العربية, so therefore we can take the majaz. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, wa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.